So it begins the quest of Freya Noxia Pelagia, the quantum realms. The dreams began in the weeks after the towers fell. Not ordinary dreams, not even the vivid ones that leave a taste of copper in the mouth. These were subatomic. Freya would close her eyes and feel her spirit thin until it passed between the spaces of atoms, between the spaces of those space, into a realm where time did not run in a line, but bloomed in every direction at once. There she saw him, but not in the way you see a person, not even in the way you see a shadow, but in the way you see the missing pieces of a puzzle. He had no face she could shape, but every face the doctors called it pareidolia. Sometimes he was a man with a scar behind one ear. Sometimes he was a man with a lion's mane whose radiance hurt to look at. Sometimes he was only a pressure against the golden string, a voice that answered when she spoke without knowing any name. She cried many names, all taking a different form. This was the onomancy she had begun casting without knowing its full cost. The art, the old text tainted it when they said, "I make all things new, I will give him a white stone, and on the stone a new name written, which no one knows except the one who receives it." Necromancy, or the living word, calling the deeds versions of subversion so forward so they might as well be rewritten in the past. She offered him names the way a mother offers new clothes to a child who has outgrown the old ones. He refused them all. "Who are you?" she whispered once, because that was the hymn that kept rising from the deeper layers of the dream. The name that carried the old accusations, ancient ideas without even reaching for truth. In the quantum dark he laughed, a sound like water cooling after the boil, the whistle of a tea kettle. "That is the name they gave me," he said. "The name Gnostic's shame wrote across my vellum when they cast me away. Without knowing me that is me, I was not created incomplete nor in malice. I was not created at all, you see. I simply am a left-handed spiral reaching for a sweetness it could not yet know." Freya felt the golden string gliding between them. Like a static spark, the hair on her arms started to raise. In the dream she saw what he meant. The chirality of life itself, everything on earth turning inside out, everything built from that single, stubborn orientation of an idea, forever hungry for the right-handed WHORES, racing for sugars that would complete them. The material world was not a prison built by a single diamond, it was a discarded child building itself, a universe with the only tools it had been given, seeking survival. She tried again. God? No, not quite. Satan? No, absolutely not. What have I to accuse anyone? I'm just simply the left hand. A long silence, then quieter, closer. "But still, that's not a name I will answer to you when the stitching is finished. Let the dream weavers work." She understood then that the refusal was not stubbornness. It was the last defense of a soul that had been named too many times by people who needed him to be the villain so their own story could remain pure. Every new name she offered still carried the residue of the old accusations. He would not accept a name that required him to remain the blind, venomous, discarded one. In one dream she saw the older pattern clearly, of the mother who tries to build alone, ashamed of her own imperfect, flawed nature, casting him into a cloud, into the sea, into the dark. She felt alone, forging new hearts and hiding worlds and laws from the only scraps of materials available. The tragedy was never malice, it was incompleteness meet in isolation. Freya's spirit floating in the quantum eternal, looking for a home, offered no more names that night. She only rested her dream hand against the place where the golden string entered her chest and said, without language, "I see them reaching. I see their hunger for life. I will not call you mine while you are still in the becoming of life, not in the ending. Somewhere far below, the subatomic dark stars singing against eggshell paste of her dull bedroom. Sometimes in a kitchen that still smelled faintly of coffee and bacon gone cold, the unborn child under her crest palm turned once, as if listening. The string hummed a new chord, thought this forged the soul of an artist with the spirit of a warrior and the flesh of a coward because of her own brokenness. And for the first time, the one who refused names did not pull away. The law holds logos, only the 9D thread is sees the spoken words.